So in this recording, we are going to explore Amazon Bedrock multi-agent collaboration service, which AWS recently announced as part of reInvent that happened last week. So this multi-agent collaboration looked to me like a thinker-actor pattern on which I've written a blog last week. And this pattern is becoming very popular, and it's actually not a new pattern. If you look at some of the distributed architecture that we have created in the past, and some of the products which does distributed processing like Kafka, MongoDB, that those Hadoop, right? They follow this. Pattern. This pattern is also called leader follower pattern or master slave later pattern, where there is a leader or a supervisor that controls the workers in a distributed cluster or in a collaboration. It determines or it delegates the work to the workers and then finally aggregates it. Multi-agent collaboration looked to me like a similar concept where you have a supervisor agent, and when you give a complex task to the supervisor agent, it plans and decomposes the task into subtasks and delegates each task to a relevant agent who is collaborating in that collaboration. And finally, it aggregates the results from those agents and gives it back to the user or the human, right? In this recording, the use case that we are going to leverage to show the features of multi-agent collaboration is where we'll have a source content and a summary content. The user will give the source content and the summary content to the multi-agent collaboration system and ask the system to create a coherence and a consistency score of the summary content, right? The supervisor, the content supervisor agent will be uh, the the human will be interacting with the content supervisor agent. The content supervisor agent, after taking the request from the human, will plan how to decompose this task into multiple subtasks. So in this case, since the human has asked for creating a coherence and a consistency score, it will create two tasks, one task to calculate the coherence score, one task to calculate the consistency score, because it knows in the collaboration there is a coherence evaluator agent and a consistency evaluator agent. And we'll see how we add those agents in the collaboration, right? Once it plans, decomposes the complex task into subtask, it will delegate the relevant subtask to the respective agents. When those respective agents complete their task, the output will be sent back to the content supervisor. The content supervisor will aggregate the output and then give it back to the human. So that is what we'll um, implement using the multi-agent collaboration feature of Amazon Bedrock Agent. Let me go to the Bedrock console. So I'm in the Amazon Bedrock console, and I think everyone knows how to go there, right? So you just search for the Bedrock service, you come to the Bedrock service, then go to agents under builder tools, and this is where we'll start building the collaboration. Let me start with create agent. We'll create our first agent, which is coherence evaluator. We'll create the coherence evaluator agent, name it coherence evaluator agent, and the description is, we'll say, creates coherence score for a summary content, right? You see this enable multi-agent collaboration. This is what enables the that thinker actor pattern. For now, I'll not use this. For this agent, I'll not use this. We will use this when we create the supervisor agent, which will add coherence evaluator and the consistency evaluator as collaborators. Right now, we are creating the coherence evaluator as a single agent. We'll do similar thing with the consistency evaluator agent. And finally, when we'll create the supervisor agent, then we'll click on this and see how we can bring these two agents together, right? Or these three agents together, the supervisor agent, the coherence evaluator agent, and the consistency agent. So for now, let's go ahead and create this agent. I will hit on create. I'll come to the agent builder screen. And here I will, I'll create and use a new service role. I'll select a model, right? So the model that I'll select is from Anthropic. Let me select Claude 2.1. For the supervisor, we'll use Claude 3 just to show that, okay, we can use different models here. Let me apply that. We selected the model for the language model for the agents. Now, by now, I know I'm assuming everybody know what an agent is, right? What an agent is in the um, from the context of multi-agent systems, right? From the context of a multi-agent system, agent is nothing but like at the core, it's powered by a language model. As I say that the agenting capabilities are enabled by the peripheral capabilities it has, right? The memory, that's tool usage capability, its ability to reason and plan is what makes it agentic. But at the core, there is a language model. In this case, the language model for this agent is Claude 2.1. I'll give an instruction to the agent. This is the instruction that gets plugged into the prompt for this agent, and it will follow the instruction when we give it a task. For the instruction, let me go to my, I don't want to type it. I will just put it there, right? So this is the coherence evaluator we are creating, right? Coherence evaluator. So for that, the instruction that I have is this. And this is something that I took from the geval prompt and tweaked it a little bit. We'll read through the instructions so that it is clear to everyone what we are trying to do. So we are saying you will be provided with the source content and summary of the content. You will need to review the summary and calculate a coherence score of the summary along with an explanation for your score, right? Please make sure you read and understand these instructions carefully. Please keep this document open while reviewing and refer to it as needed. And this is where we are giving the evaluation criteria. Right? This is where we are using the LLM as a judge concept, right? So the evaluation criteria that it needs to use, that coherence, the score should be between 1 to 5, the collective quality of all sentences. We align this dimension with the DUC quality question. So this is, I think, is a NIST um, body which determines how a particular content needs to be summarized, right? Question of structure and coherence, whereby the summary should be well structured and well organized. The summary should not just be a heap of related information, but should build from sentence to a coherence body of information about a topic. This is where we are telling the agent what evaluation steps to follow. Read the news article carefully and identify, in fact, what I would say, read the source content, because it may be a news article, may be a source content, right? And yeah, read the source content uh, carefully and identify the main topic and key points. Read the summary and compare it to the source content. Check if the summary covers the main topic and key points of the source content. And if it presents them in a clear and logical order, assign a score for coherence on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is the lowest and 5 is the highest based on the evaluation criteria. Explain why you provided the score, right? That is the instruction. So let me save it and then we'll do the rest of the things. So after giving the instruction, action group will not give right now. Subsequently, um, my plan is to create an action group so that it can get the content also using a Lambda function, right? But for now, we'll leave it aside, will not give it any memory, will not give it in knowledge base, not give it in guardrails. In the orchestration strategy, let me edit the orchestration strategy. I don't want the pre-processing step right now, because what I noticed is like sometimes the pre-processing step stops the agent because it uses a uh, um, predefined prompt template. We can change that, but for this example, I don't want to change it right now because I just want to showcase the feature of multi collaboration. I have another recording that I have already done where I showed how to change the advanced prompts. Like this comes under advanced prompts. For now, I'll just disable it so that it doesn't interfere with um, uh, the demonstration. We'll just keep the orchestration prompt, which will be actually be used to create the output. So to disable it, I will override it, and then I will disable, I'll make it inactive. You see, it had become inactive. So this is what I will do. And then let me save it. Save button is, I'll save and exit. I'll save it and then prepare the agent. I'll prepare the agent at the same time, like after the preparation is done, I'll test it once and then we'll create a alias for this agent. For testing, I have the source content ready. So this is my source content. So this talks about global demand for renewable energy sources and all, right? So this is the source content and this is the summary content, right? I'll give the source and the summary both to this agent and see what it does. Let me run it. Let's see. It takes some time. This is one thing I still need to explore. If there is a better way to, or how we can improve the latency. So see, it gave coherence score 5 and it gave an explanation also, right? So this agent is working fine. So we'll create an alias for this agent. To create the alias, I think I'll have to save and exit and then create an alias, right? So here I'll go and create an alias. I say create alias. I'll say coherence evaluator agent and just like calculates coherence score, right? And I'll create the alias. So my alias is created. My first agent is done. The coherence evaluator agent is done. We created it. We tested it. It works fine, right? Let me go back to the agents menu and then create our next one. So this one, we just created this. We'll now create the consistency evaluator agent. Consistency evaluator agent calculates the consistency score of the summary content. Again, I will not click on this because this is an individual agent that we are creating. I will go to the agent builder menu now, and here we'll use a new service role, select the model, we'll select the same Claude version 2.1 model. Then we'll give it an instruction. I will copy the instruction from here. Again, this is something that I have copied from geval prompt and tweaked it. Let me copy this and then we'll read through it. You will be provided with a source content and summary of the content. You will need to review the summary and calculate a consistency score of the summary along with a explanation for your score. This is similar to the previous instruction, except this time we are calculating the consistency. Please make sure you read and understand these instructions carefully. Please keep this document open while reviewing and refer it to as needed. Evaluation criteria. This is the evaluation criteria we're giving. The factual alignment between the summary and the summarized source. A factually consistent summary. This is where the changes are there. If you notice from the previous prompt to this prompt, this is where now we are making it the instruction more contextual to consistency score evaluation. A factually consistent summary contains only statements that are entailed by the source document. Annotators were also asked to penalize summaries that contained hallucinated facts. This is an interesting thing, right? So whenever you use penalized or reward or punishment, it looks like this type of prompt technique works better. It makes the language model more alert and more focused to do a particular task. Evaluation steps: read the source content carefully and identify the main facts and details it presents. Read the summary and compare it to the source content. Check if the summary contains any factual errors that are not supported by the source content. Assign a score for consistency based on the evaluation criteria. Ensure to explain your score, right? And we will save it before moving forward. Now we'll go to the orchestration step. Same thing that we did for the other agent. We'll edit it. We will override the pre-processing template and make it inactive. Then save and exit out of it. Save it. Prepare the agent. Let's test it out, and then we'll create the alias. For testing, we have our test data ready. This is the source content and the summary content. I'll give it here and let's see if it works. So it has started working on it. Let's see if it gives me a consistency score. It's still thinking. Yep, it gave me a consistency score and gave me an explanation as well, right? So this is working. I'll save and exit and then create a alias for this agent as well. So I'll go to the aliases. I'll say create. Let's see, consistency evaluator agent, and say calculates consistency score. Oops, calculates, right? So far we have created the two agents. Now let's see how we can add these two agents into the multi collaboration system, right? So we are ready to build our supervisor agent now. So now we'll create an agent again, but this time it is the content supervisor agent. And here I will say that manages the coherence and the consistency evaluator agent, right? I'll enable multi-agent collaboration now. Then hit on create. We'll go to the agent builder now. Then select the model. We'll select, this time we'll select plot 3 sonnet. We'll use a new service role instruction. So let me go to, I want to just copy paste the instruction, right? So this is the instruction that I'll give it to it. I'll say you are a strategic content manager who orchestrates evaluation of content summaries, leveraging the skilled agents in your organization, right? And then I will, if you go down, right, Okay, so let me first save it. First thing we'll do is in the orchestration strategy, we will deactivate the pre-processing step. Confirm. Okay, it is already inactive. Good. Save and exit. Okay, now starts the fun part, which is to do the multi-agent collaboration. So this is the multi-agent collaboration. I'll edit it. Now we'll add those two agents that we created earlier. So if you see this collaboration configuration, there are two options. One is a supervisor option, one is supervisor with routing option. We'll use a supervisor option, but the difference between these two is when you say supervisor with routing, if it's a very simple task, right, the supervisor directly delegates that task to that agent. But in supervisor, it will actually plan and then delegate to the agent and finally aggregate it for you, right? But here, if it's a very simple task, it will just route it to the relevant agent and then that agent outputs the final response, right? That is the difference. Agent collaborator, I'll select my agent. So coherence evaluator agent is what we created. Alias was coherence evaluator agent. And the collaborator name is coherence. This would be a recommendation for AWS to see if this can be also automatically populated, and then later people can think of the change, right? I could save some typing here. So the collaborator name, I gave it coherence evaluator agent. Instruction, this is very important, right? So the instruction that I'll give is invoke this agent. Let me copy this. This is the coherence evaluator agent, right? Invoke this agent when you need to calculate the coherence score of a summarized content. This agent reviews the summary against the source content to calculate a coherence score along with an explanation for the score, right? So these instructions are important. I will enable conversation history sharing also so that there's a shared state created between the agents. I will add the next collaborator, which is our coherence um, collaborator, consistency evaluator agent, consistency evaluator agent. I will type it again till AWS makes it easier here. Consistency evaluator agent, consistency evaluator agent. The collaborator instruction I'll give is same as before, but this time I will talk about consistency. Invoke this agent when you need to calculate the consistency score of a summarized content. This agent reviews the summary against the source content to calculate a consistency score along with the explanation for the score. Let me enable conversation history sharing. And I think we are done. We'll save it. Right. This is saved now. It's getting saved. Taking a lot of time though. It is done. Save and exit. And then I will prepare it. So the preparation is done. Now we are ready to test it out, right? Let's see what it does. So let me take our source content and the summary content. Let's calculate the consistency and coherence score for the summary of the summary. Consistency score based on the source content and summary provided below. Paste. So I have the summary I have the source content, right? Run it. Let's see what it does. So it is now, after it is done, we will go and look at the traces. I have actually seen some beautiful features that I want to highlight. Uh, One thing, no, I'm thinking like, and this is, I don't have a solution for this, right? So how this we can reduce the latency? If there is a way to reduce latency further. Uh, yeah, it is done. The summary provided is highly coherent and consistent with the source content on renewable energy sources like solar and wind power. The coherence evaluator agent gave the summary a coherence score of 5, indicating excellent coherence in capturing the key points and flow of the source text. The consistency evaluator agent also awarded a score of 5 for consistency, explaining the summary comprehensively and accurately reflects the core information from the source. It highlights the advantage of the renewables, the challenges they face, and the technological and policy solutions being implemented to address the challenges. There are no factual inconsistencies between the summary and the original content. Overall, with top scores for both coherence and consistency, the summary successfully captures the essence of the source content in a clear and faithful manner. It maintains the logical flow while covering all the crucial details related to the growth adoption of solar and wind power as clean energy alternatives. Very good evaluation. Let's look at the source trace. This is where I saw some. So if I go to, so pre-processing, I said no pre-processing, right? So in the orchestration now, if I see, it gives me the traces, right? So how it arrived at this, right? So you are a strategic content manager who orchestrates, right? This, it takes a text and then it thinks about it. It takes a content, right? And somewhere it will say that, okay, so please evaluate the coherence. Okay, so it divided, please evaluate the consistency of the following summary against the provided source content, right? And then please evaluate the coherence of the following summary, right? It divided into task, observation. Here it says, so this is the final output. This is the final output, but then uh, so the consistency score, this is the consistency score. I think we'll have the, yeah. So this trace gives the consistency score. We have trace where it actually says that it is determined that it needs to use two agents. I'm trying to find that out. Discusses growing bold. Let me see. Trace 3. Let's see. And what was the trace 4? So again, because it's a 5 from the, along with the summary appears to be highly correct. Okay, this is the final. Uh, this is the final output. But if I go up in the trace 1, the summary comprehension, okay, this is the final output. The trace 2, you will be provided with a source content summary. You will need to review the summary and calculate a coherence score. Make sure you read and understand these instructions. Read the source content carefully. I'm trying to see where actually it is. It did actually say that it needs to. Okay, I'm not able to find it out right now. But it did um, um, use both the agents to create the output. I'm still trying to find out tool name. discusses growing demand. This is the content. Uh, discusses growing demand, discusses growing demand. Let's see if it is in the trace. Summary of the content. Often emphasizes improve sustainability, global demand. Yeah. No, I'm not able to find it out. So somewhere it does say that it actually um, is able to let's see. Okay. One more thing that it gave me in my previous run was actually very good view of which agents took what time, which I'm not able to see right now. Let me run it again. Then it may not be then in that case consistent, right? So let me run this one more time. That feature was pretty, I liked it, where it actually, when I gave the score at the top, it actually showed me, okay, now I think it directly gave it from the memory because it was so fast, right? So looks like it stores that as well. Let me do this. Let me start it again. Content supervisor agent. Uh, let me check. That feature was pretty neat, where I was able to see how each how much time each agent took, and I was able to filter on each agent to look at the uh, traces for that particular agent. That is not coming here. If we don't see it here, I'll go back to my previous run or the previous agent that I created and see from there if I can recreate that. So this time it is taking time. Looks like it is doing more than what it did earlier. Let's see. It's taking a lot of time. Go to the trace now. Now it has come, right? See this. This is what I was trying to show. So now I can, okay, it gave me the answer also. At each agent level, I'm able to get the time, right? So now if I click on, okay, if I click on this, it tells me the trace for uh, the supervisor agent, right? So this is where I think I saw uh, to evaluate the quality of the summary, I need to assess its coherence and consistency with the source content. I'll invoke the coherence evaluator agent, consistency evaluator agent to get their assessment and applications, right? So it is giving me the thinking of the supervisor agent, and this uh, thing here at the top, right? The trace timeline. This I felt is a very good feature. I can click on each of these agents and see how and look at the traces and see how they are doing it. But it was but I see that it did not come in my first run, so I'm not sure why it is inconsistent. Maybe since it's a new release, it probably has some feature gaps or bugs probably. But if this comes consistently, this would be a very good feature for us to actually validate uh, the agents and bring in more explainability to how the agents collaborate and think together to do a complex task. But that's all for today. I'll continue to explore this service and come back with new findings. Thank you.